Hello and welcome back to the rundown on Women's Football Talk. Now we have a great weekend of fixtures ahead of us, but before we do that, make sure you are subscribed and you are turned on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours. So let's have a look at the weekend's games. So we have a top of the clash table on Sunday here in England at 12:40 as Manchester City take on Chelsea. So Chelsea currently sit atop of the WSL on 37 points, Manchester City in third on 35 points. However, Chelsea do have a game in hand of those the two Manchester sides below them, despite having a 2-point advantage, so it doesn't really matter in that sense. However, Manchester City will be key to win this fixture because earlier on in the weekend Arsenal will play against Tottenham on Saturday, which we'll get to in a minute, so they could be in fourth place, and obviously it's only the top three here in England that get Champions League football. Chelsea again in fantastic form, haven't lost their last 4 games. Obviously Manchester City losing to Aston Villa last weekend in the FA Cup, so it's been a bit of a strange week for Manchester City, obviously wanting to be there in and around the top 3 qualifying for Champions League football, but we'll be very wary of the other results around them. If you flip back to the result between the two sides earlier on this season, Chelsea won that game 2-0. Again, I think this one's going to be a really close game. Chelsea are obviously coming on the back of playing Champions League football this week, so they're also going to be key to get the win here because, again, with results earlier on the weekend, Manchester United, if they were to win, they would leapfrog Chelsea for the time being. So it's going to be really key to see who can pick up the 3 points, if anyone at all will pick up the 3 points in this one. Now let's have a look at those games on Saturday. So we have Tottenham versus Arsenal at 3 o'clock. Again, Tottenham winning their last league game against Leicester City, a 1-0 victory, which was their first game since Ryan Skinner was sacked. And then Arsenal again played midweek in Champions League football, which we'll get onto later on. So Arsenal will be looking to put the knife into Spurs again this season after winning the first tie 4-0 earlier on this season. So it's going to be a very, very big game there at Brisbane Road. And then Manchester United play West Ham United in the evening on Saturday, and that is at 5:30. Again, Manchester United at Old Trafford have been really good in the games that they've played there, and when they played West Ham earlier on in the season they won 2-0, so a result for them could see them head to the top of the Premier League table. So a quick look at the rest of the fixtures in the WSL this weekend. Tonight sees Everton take on Liverpool at 7:30, and then the rest of the Sunday fixtures are Reading versus Brighton and Aston Villa versus Leicester City. So some fantastic fixtures to look forward to this weekend here in England. Over into Spain now, and this weekend we have El Clasico on Saturday as Barcelona play Real Madrid in the evening kickoff. Obviously Barcelona at top of the table as they are undefeated. Real Madrid obviously losing last week and will be hoping to right amends, because otherwise they'll be looking really over their shoulders massively as Levante play on Sunday against Real Sociedad. So if Real Madrid were to lose this, they could head down into third place. And elsewhere, Atletico Madrid take on Alaves on Sunday, again trying to get as close to that second and third spot as possible. So heading into Germany now and looking at this weekend's fixtures. One fixture tonight as Werder Bremen take on Cologne. Then on Saturday it is the big fixture between the top two sides as Bayern Munich take on Wolfsburg at 4:55 PM UK time. So it's going to be an absolute clash of the two titans, and obviously you don't want to be slipping up in this race between the two sides. Obviously Wolfsburg having the advantage over Bayern Munich at this minute in time, and then the rest of the games will be taking place on Sunday. Then we'll head over into France again. One game tonight as Le Havre take on Fleury. The majority of games taking place on Saturday, and then 2 games on Sunday as Lyon play Guingamp and Paris Saint-Germain travel to Montpellier. Over in the Netherlands again, the majority of fixtures taking place tonight. So you got Feyenoord versus Den Haag, PEC Zwolle versus Heerenveen, Fortuna Sittard versus Excelsior, and PSV versus Telstar, the one game on Sunday being between Ajax and VV Alkmaar. And then finally over into Spain again, Italy, as it is the continuation of the playoff rounds there in Italy. So you have Sampdoria versus Como, Inter Milan versus Juventus, Parma versus Sassuolo, and AC Milan versus Fiorentina. So they are the weekend's fixtures happening across the European leagues. This weekend also sees the start of the NWSLs. If you want a full look at that, make sure you check out NWSL Talk on the channel, where we have a look at all the big talking points and everything that is happening this week or has happened this week over in the States. So that is a video that is already on our channel. Now, before we finish, let's have a look back at the Champions League action that took place this week. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we saw the first quarterfinals take place, and it was a strange feat because all 4 games finished 1-0. Bayern Munich beating Arsenal 1-0. Lea Schuler scoring the sole goal of that game with a brilliant header from a Maxi Rule cross. Arsenal disappointed with a few decisions. Penalty that should have been given, as you saw Raffaelli's shirt being pulled, and then a back pass which wasn't called by the referee. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that second leg plays out. Barcelona managed to beat AS Roma by 1-0. Salma Paralluelo scoring the sole goal of that game. A fantastic result for Roma, considering this is their first ever quarter-final tie, and many people probably would have expected more goals from Barcelona, but they did really well themselves, and they had a fantastic chance through Manuela Giuliano, who forced a fantastic save from Sandra Panos. And then on Wednesday, Chelsea beat Lyon by 1-0. Guru Wrighton with the only goal for Emma Hayes' side, who lost Millie Bright just before half-time to what looked like a knee injury, and as of time of recording, we have no news on Millie Bright's injury, so it's going to be interesting to see if and how long she is out for. And then finally, Wolfsburg beat PSG by 1-0. Dominic Janssen from the penalty spot after a crazy couple of minutes where PSG thought they had a penalty after Sakina Kachawi was fouled by Marina Hegering. Then VAR overturned it, and then they go to the other end. Lena Oberdorf headers the ball and it hits De Almeida's arm, and she is sent off for a second red card after VAR intervened again and decided to give the penalty, which Janssen scored it. So a busy weekend of games to look forward to, and we'll obviously be recapping it all on Monday, as well as looking ahead to the second legs of those quarterfinal ties here on Women's Football Talk. But in the meantime, like I said at the start, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with post notification bell turned on, and that you're following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. And in the meantime, we'll see you soon.